Hello, Amy Elizabeth, somatic and intuitive healer here. So we are Sunday, the 28th of August today. And well, I definitely want to touch on Venus squaring off with Uranus and Venus opposing Saturn today. The thing I kind of want to bring us to is the new moon. And so this was the Virgo New Moon. So it's the priestess new moon. Hi, Leo. And it was at 4 degrees of Virgo. It peaked at 3:16 a.m. Central Time, so adjust for your time zones on Saturday. So while we are sitting in the new moon energy, she has peaked and she is once again moving toward a build. We're still in the new moon energy, so if you want to do new moon stuff, absolutely do. And it is now the new moon period where we plant seeds. And the thing I want to touch in on and bring to everybody's awareness are the 6 Mitochondrial Eve. And the reason that they are coming up and speaking loudly is because I know I've been speaking about Venus a lot this week and our self-love. And a part of our self-love is recognizing ourselves and all others. So what do the 6 Mitochondrial Eve have to do with this? Is all humans can be traced back to one of these 6 women, these 6 sisters. So we are all of the same blood, and our blood is ancient. It moves from mother to child and mother to child and mother to child and mother to child. And so we all within us carry this ancient blood. And this is a matrilineal piece, and it is the priestess new moon. Venus has been heavily involved this week. Hygeia has been heavily involved this week. I will touch in on Black Moon Lilith also with her sextile with the North Node today, and how that is touching in with the potency of our destinies. But this Mitochondrial Eve piece really landing with this priestess moon for me is calling us to really pay attention to to pay attention to what it is to live in this world. It is so important, in my opinion, that we do not skate out, that we do not move away from the value of what this is. And I'm not saying let's stay stuck in materialism, or let's stay stuck in capitalism, or let's stay stuck in us, them. Because the Mitochondrial Eve, if we understand that and we hold that, there is no us, them. It is only us, because we all come from these 6 women. We are all related. So there is wisdom in our blood, and we are of the earth. So there is wisdom in the earth. It is the same, and it's not separate. You can't separate it out. And sometimes it takes moving through the aspects and the dreaming and the opening of the doors, that when we allow my thoughts to be your thoughts and your thoughts to be my thoughts, when we all recognize that we can be on the same wavelength and we can be on the same frequency, and that when I'm speaking, I'm not only expressing my thoughts, but can you find the space to recognize how much of you is expressed in those also? And when you speak, can you recognize and express for everybody? And find our connection and our wholeness. This is a earthy new moon. We are grounded, and yes, we are in Virgo, and we can pay attention to the details and we can get trapped in our perfectionism. And there are those things. And can we allow what is right now, as uncomfortable as it is, and as challenging as it is? We're at the ending of an age. It's uncomfortable. Things are shifting. They don't feel good. They feel scary. And for a lot of people, as they feel scared, they're going to double down into their dysfunctional behavior, into the behavior that keeps them sick, that keeps them disconnected, that perpetuates the mess. Which brings me finally to a little more astrology rather than the shamanism piece. Venus in Leo squared Taurus, retrograde Taurus, and Uranus in Taurus this was Friday. And this energy, they're still in orb. The energy is still there of a piece of really being radical in our self-love is being able to see ourselves in other people and being able to see ourselves in the light of those other people and the shadow of those other people and love those people still. Being able to see our own fears and the fears of others and how those others are moving and how we move from fear in a distorted way when we're moving from fear, and opening our hearts when they want to close. So that's a radical change to our self-worth. And it's not, the hierarchy of care is self, intimate relationship, children. That is the hierarchy of care. And we've had that backwards and upside down and inside out for so long. And when we can meet ourselves and meet the care that we as individuals need, we are being loving to our intimate relationships, to our children, and really to everybody around us. So my invitation is having discernment. And if you don't feel like you have discernment, you happen to be talking to a guide. Hi, I will help you. Having discernment around our self-care and remembering that dysfunction, dis-ease, when we are in discomfort, those are markers for places to move into so that we can move through. I'm a shamanic practitioner. As shaman, we go toward the wound. We go into the wound. We do not go around it or over it or skate out or anything else. We go into the wound. Because when we go into the wound, we can clean it out. And when you clean out the wound, there you will find the gold. Always. So like I said, on 3:16 a.m. on Saturday morning, we had the peak of our new moon at 4 degrees of Virgo. And this was square Mars. And now I spoke about the sun square Mars earlier in this week, so you can find the video here, whether you're on YouTube or Guidely or Facebook or wherever you're following me, and recognize Mars is an action guy. He wants to get it done. And the sun in Virgo is really shining the light on the details that we would need to do to get it done in the highest way. And getting it done in the highest way may slow things down. But remember that any small step is a step forward. It is an action that is being taken to call in what is highest and what is best, what is most aligned. And then today, on August 28th, Venus in Leo. Like I said, there's a lot of Venus this week. We are moving through different aspects that are having us look at our self-love. And today, Venus opposes retrograde Saturn. So, and opposition is the tension of opposites. It is two people sitting across the room from each other that don't have the same goals, that don't see the world the same, and that really likely don't want anything to do with each other. So there's this tension of opposites that's going on. And opposition is also in the nature of Saturn. And Saturn is restriction to some extent. It is a hard boundary. And oftentimes I think people view boundaries as I'm going to set up a boundary to keep things out, like a fence. I want to invite the idea that a boundary is really about holding yourself in. It is about holding yourself and meeting yourself so you don't move through the world expecting that the world is going to hold you. Because when we're all holding ourselves, it's not about isolationism, it's not about individualism. It is not about this sick American idea that I can do everything by myself. No, it is about when I am holding myself, I can recognize that I have a want or a need, and I can clearly communicate about having that want or need met. And I can accept if somebody else tells me no, I don't completely fall apart and break down, because I know that, well, I'm aware of this thing, and I also know other human beings, and I can touch in and see maybe there's bits and pieces of this need or want that I'm going to have farm out, delegate to a number of people. Maybe I just need to talk and be heard. Maybe I need somebody to brainstorm with. We all know that not everybody we talk to is a great brainstormer, because there are people out there who want to fix us rather than listen or ideas share with us. So that is this Saturn piece, and standing in opposition to Venus, it's highlighting the ways that our relationship to money, sex, and power, which really tie into our self-worth. What is our relationship with power? What is our relationship with money? What is our relationship with sex? And when I say sex, I don't mean genitalia. I mean creative energy. And yes, it can mean genitalia, but that is such a small portion of things. Sex is how we use our creative life force energy. And can we create a distance and a separation from the plutonic system that we're living in? Because that's our reality right now, Saturn. But Saturn's in Aquarius. So Saturn is asking us to move into a level of galactic citizenship, of cosmic citizenship. And to move into a level of cosmic citizenship and what that new structure looks like, we have to shed this idea of plutonic citizenship that we live in. We have to adjust this. And well, right now, yes, we are in retrograde season. We have all of the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and Chiron retrograde. Mercury is in his pre-retrograde shadow, prepping for his retrograde. And so there is this energetic slowing down while the frequency continues to go up. And so if you're feeling a level of dissonance around the slowdown of everything suddenly moving retrograde, which really isn't that sudden, it's just everything's in it. While the frequency is going up, you're not alone, and that is very, very real. And then finally, I want to touch on the fact that Black Moon Lilith in Cancer is sextile the North Node, and that puts her trine the South Node, Hygeia conjunction. I said Hygeia was a player this week, and she is. Hygeia is conjunct the South Node. So Hygeia is there reminding us that there is healing in letting go. There is healing in releasing. And I was having a conversation with a wise woman recently, and we touched in on the fact the reminder is that letting go and releasing is about releasing our grip on something, releasing our attachment to. And yes, there is the purging and releasing and cleaning of your physical space. There is the shifting of your diet and releasing bad food habits if you have them. There's the releasing of addictions. There's a lot of things that we can physically let go of. There is also the letting go of our grip. That is a releasing when we can really, from a deep, true place, say, yes, I can let that go. I can love it enough to let it go. I can love it enough to not have a grip on it. And it's something that we see in our romantic relationships, our friendships. When we hold on too tight, we smother the flame of that thing. Flames that burn brightly are not meant to be put in our pockets. They're meant to be given a lot of air and space and have life breathed into them. And we can't do that when we have a death grip. So Hygeia is there conjunct the South Node, reminding us of the whole system, whole person healing that is available to us when we are willing to let go. What would happen to our bodies if we refused to have a bowel movement, if we refused to urinate? We would become systemic and septic systemically and toxic. We would become sick from not letting go, from not releasing what does not serve us. That is why Scorpio, which is where the South Node is this representation of the bottom of the body. That is where it plugs in our physical body when we look at astrology associated with our physicality. Scorpio is the anus and the rectum, the elimination of our solids. It is the urethra and our ability to eliminate liquid. It is our sexual organs. So it is also our ability to receive. It is both and there is a depth to Scorpio that is really asking us to dig in and dig down and to really deeply excavate. What are we holding on to that's getting in the way of this North Node piece? So a sextile is a creative aspect, and Black Moon Lilith may not really want to work with the North Node right now, and they are sextile. So they are moving us toward the same goal. They may not agree on how we're going to get there, but that is what working with these energies is finding a way that we can move toward that destiny point. And remember, this North Node that I'm speaking of is our collective North Node. We all have our individual North Nodes, but this is our collective North Node. So, feels like I just talked a lot. Black Moon Lilith wants us to understand with this aspect that there is a creative potency to be found in a world that is run on equality and truth, which brings me back to those Mitochondrial Eve. We all come from 6 women. That's a scientific fact. It just is. So, how do we recognize and embody that truth in a way that allows us to recognize that when we suppress one, we're really suppressing ourselves. We're moving from a place of, well, this is my internal suppression. This is my internal idea of how I treat myself, and I want to treat you the same way. And Hygeia is down there reminding us that there is immense healing to be found in release. Leave your questions, your comments, your dedications, your requests down below. I love hearing from you. I love interacting with you. And I promise that if you have a question, somebody else does too.